Alright, I hope you're ready for some unbelievable excitement because the geese are about to cross the road with some goslings. I think there's 5 of them. We'll count them again in a second. What does it mean? What does it mean? Why are the geese crossing the road? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there might be a trailer. Let's see. Somebody in the back? Is there somebody in the back, or is there just 4? We'll find out. Leave a comment below for why you think the geese crossed the road. Oh, okay, we figured it out. Oh, there's the 5th one. He just popped in at the last second. Turns out they're going to their favorite puddle. Isn't this adorable? Look at the way they drink water. Oh my goodness. They can't swallow, so goslings as well as adult geese have to put some water in their beak and then raise their head in the air and kind of drink it that way. It's pretty cute. Look at all these little guys. It's adorable. It's so adorable. I don't think I would have even cared about geese years ago, but these guys are pretty great. You can tell that they're geese, I think, because and not baby ducks, because they have so much more brown in their fur, which will someday soon be feathers. Just in a few more weeks, they'll start to get a little bigger. There's actually a little bit older gosling that we'll see in a second, and you know, when they're a little bit bigger than this and a little bit browner, they're usually 3 to 5 weeks old. These guys are just 1 to 2 weeks old, so they're brand new, and hopefully they all survive. I've gotten back a couple times since taking this video, and I'm still seeing, you know, 4 or 5 geese at a time, little goslings. So we'll, you know, hopefully most of them are making it, but it's tough out there. You know, the average goose lays about 5 eggs, and a lot of them don't usually make it. This guy keeps trailing behind a lot of the time, so I'm kind of worried about him. You'll see in a second that Mother Goose waits around for him. But anyways, and here we go, taking a little nap in the grass. He's got some good camouflage. And the rest of them are practicing foraging, learning from their parents, something that a lot of goslings do. Sometimes they trade goslings off with other parents so that the original parents can take a break, go out, sleep a little bit, forage for more food so that they can get that sustenance to continue taking care of all these young ones. So babysitting is quite common in the gosling world, or the goose world. There's another video I'll put out later where it shows a couple of geese parents who both have 10 goslings each, and that's probably because they're in something called a creche, which is where they, you know, again, share their goslings with somebody else so that they can go take a bit of a break, and then the other parents will come back and they'll switch it up, and that allows the goslings to learn quite a bit more too, learn how to survive from multiple adults that have made it before. And you can see that the geese are very observant about what's going on while their little ones are foraging. So they don't get to eat as much as they might usually because they're watching for predators all the time. They don't want a fox or something to come along and get one of them. Also, other birds can be a problem too. Hawks will eat them sometimes, so you got to be on the watch for that. However, this is a pretty good location since you see a lot of geese making new goslings. Here we go with the geese crossing a different road this time. Again, leave a message in the comments for what you think it all means when the goose crosses the road. It must be something different than why the chicken crosses the road, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that got a little blurry, unfortunately. But, you know, I was still learning my new camera. And a lot of the time the geese have conflicts. Why that is, it's hard to say. They don't like other people getting in on their turf. Sometimes geese will be unhappy with the lack of sharing, and they will just steal other geese's goslings. So you'll notice that some of the mother and father geese that have goslings will actually fight the other ones back, you know, especially around that puddle. Any source of food or water, while the little goslings are feeding, the adults will try to keep them away so they don't do anything. And yeah, we have a bit of different conflicts going on in this video that you'll get to see. But these little guys some are foraging, some are sleeping. If you didn't know they were there, I think the camouflage with the grass would be pretty good. You know, they're kind of tough to see, but I like to watch them even walk. It's cute. So you can see they still got 4 or 5. There's one on sleeping down there, and then there's 2 standing up. But you know, it's the middle of the day, but they already look kind of sleepy, ready to take a nap. They can't really make loud goose sounds yet, but they will be soon. It's pretty interesting listening to the different geese make their sounds. The buzzing sound that you hear sometimes in this video is still from the geese, which is unusual. And then, you know, they make a lot of different sounds to warn off other geese, and that can also be used to warn off predators. Geese are usually pretty aggressive. There's lots of videos you can watch on the internet of geese going head to head with all kinds of animals that are 10 times their size. And here we have a couple of deer. They're always hanging out around this area. This is another spit up in Washington State, and you just see all kinds of animal life around all the time, so that's fun. And here we go with the geese crossing the road again. It's more of a little trail than a road this time. And they're just continuing to learn from their parents. Looks like we still are following the same 5 all over the place. But there's even signs up around this area that say, you know, goose crossing. Oh, so here we go. A little more competition there. Telling people to skedaddle. Or geese. Geese just have a long history of being super aggressive. It's kind of hard to understand sometimes. But this is not where they are for most of the year, but this time of year in the spring and the summer, they're raising new geese, new goslings, and so you see them all around. And a bunch more will hatch. This was in April, so a lot more geese are hatching in May and June. A lot of those other adults in the background will get their goslings. See, now they're being competitive again. Why can't we be friends? Now he's looking at me. Don't attack me. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I do notice the stress levels are higher when I'm standing around, though. Like, the adults will be much more alert and paying attention. And then if I walk away, they will decide to not. I mean, they'll decide to sit down sometimes. So then that made me realize I need to not spend too much time following them around. Got to give them a break so they can take a bit of a rest and make sure they're aware of everything going on if an actual dangerous predator comes along that wants to eat them or something. The more I watch birds, the more I can see some sort of connection, I think, to like dinosaurs or something, their ancestors. Here's that 3 to 5 week old gosling. It's a little older than a gosling now, but it's past that 2 or 3 week stage, and now it's got not quite. It doesn't quite have feathers yet in the 3 to 5 week area, but it's still getting to a point where it can defend itself a little better, almost there. And and I saw it just recently actually, and that same goose has feathers now. I almost didn't recognize it because we're only a month into it or something, and it's like, or 2 months that it's been alive, and it's already close to the same size as its parents, so that's cool. And These geese are just not getting along at all. But that's just typical in the goose world, I think. You've probably noticed already, but when they put their head down like that, they're planning to attack. But they never actually do anything. They don't really bite anybody. They just make a lot of noise, usually. You know, it'd be annoying to be chased by a goose, but I think, like, and it could possibly bite you, but I don't think it would be, like, the end of the world. Now we're going to see the little 3 to 5 week old gosling, if you can still call it that. Almost a full-sized goose. Enter the water, so, you know, they float just fine. The little baby goslings float just fine too, right from the beginning, so that's pretty cool. This part is not the ocean. This is actually a little pond behind on the other side. There's like the ocean on one side, some land area, this puddle, which apparently that puddle of fresh water is what their whole crew drinks. They know not to drink salt water. I think a lot of animals naturally know not to drink salt water, so they avoid that pretty hardcore. Even though there's a pond back behind there, there is also salt water that enters there, so they don't drink that. But fortunately, it rains enough around here that they don't really have a problem getting water to drink usually. Now we can just enjoy some little adorable goslings drinking water. It's so adorable when they raise their head up like that to drink the water. And then we have this little guy who's trailing behind here. The parent is waiting around. Mom's like, come on, we gotta get going. We don't want you to get eaten by something or stolen by another goose. So let's go. But I was watching this guy for a while and he was always trailing a little ways behind. Hopefully he's staying safe. Because he got this guy who's being weird and aggressive. Oh no, that's the mother, never mind. But they're being defensive because they don't want anybody messing with their little goslings. Now you can see his little feet, his little webbed feet running along, trying to catch up with mom. And now after all that extra effort, he's tired, so he's gonna take a little nap, I think. You can see he's super sleepy. All that activity tuckered him out. Now he's just gonna sit there, being all adorable. And pretty well hidden with the yellow and the brown. It's pretty good camouflage in the grass, so people have a hard time seeing him. And this area is something close to a nest. It's along the embankment of the pond I was talking about before. And they just kind of hang out there. I wouldn't say it's like a full-fledged nest, but they definitely go there and hang out. The taller grass acts as a bit of a camouflage, so they're harder to see. You know, and then you have the two adults surrounding that mid-sized young bird. So they can be a bit defensive.